Hi guys, welcome to my channel Gratitude Homes. My name is Chef Wairimu and I'm glad that you're here and that you have subscribed, because after this you're so going to subscribe. But anyways, let's start. So today I have a special recipe I'm sharing with you. It's a simple bread and you don't have to be, it's not complicated, it's very easy. Even a child can do this comfortably. And for those of you ladies who find it difficult, the nails and all that, this is the recipe for you. When I say warm water, this is lukewarm water, like the one you can use to bath a baby. So it's not something that is burning your throat. So lukewarm is, that, or tepid for another one you can use, yeah. But that's it. And then, so what you're going to do, today I'm teaching you how to measure your flour. So when you're using cups, and use your standard cups, the one with the saucer that you don't use, the ones you are given for your wedding. Most of us were given many years ago with saucers and we don't use them. So it's a standard cup. I use this one, and you use the same cup to measure the other things if you need it. Like in my case, we're going to use for water. So 4 cups of this, and this is how we measure. You don't take and shake it, you just scoop in the container and then you cut. You see, I'm going to use the knife when it's flat. That is how you cut them. You can see it's flat. Yeah, so I'm going to do 4 of these cups. This cup is a standard. 1 cup of flour is usually, for this one, is 125 grams. So just in case you don't have a teacup, and you can use a weighing scale. So 4 cups, we are good. And then next is 2 teaspoons of salt. I use a wooden spoon for my salt so that it doesn't, react. But in this case, when I have to measure with a teaspoon, I can do this, and then scoop it to the sides just to give you not heat, not like this. This is going to make people sick. So just put it flat in this way. That's 1, 2. I love this recipe because you just put everything together and your life is easier. And we're going to use 2 forks. Imagine that. Imagine that. Okay. So every time you measure your ingredient, put it away so that you don't question whether you've used it or not. That way it makes it easy. Otherwise you may find yourself using double the amount. Alright, our yeast, I just need to use, so yeast sort of falls off very easily when you fetch. Yeah? So when it gets off the excess, that's what we are going to use. That's 1, 2 and a half. Okay? It's very easy to measure the half. If you're not confident, you do that and you can get off half of it. Yeah, that's it. And then sugar, 2 teaspoons. 1, 2. So 2 salt, 2 sugar, 2 and a half yeast, 4 cups of flour, and then now we go to the water. So here I've stirred my flour just to mix up the dry ingredients, and then I take the same cup I measured the flour with, and we're going to put 2 and a half cups of water. That's 1, 2 and a half. So this is a jug of 500 ml, so it's equivalent to the 2 and a half that you need for this recipe. Then after that, we just mix. You can use a wooden spoon or a spatula. So this is a spatula. You can also use it because it will help you get rid of the flour that is sticking in the sides together. you don't overwork it. Okay, the minute the flour comes together and you don't see any dry flour, then it's good. See, it's very, it looks a bit sticky. It doesn't look like it has life, but let me tell you, this is one of the simplest bread that you can ever make and still very tasty. Okay, so the texture should be that it looks like it's not very well mixed and it's a bit sticky. So this is good. And then what we're going to do now is that you're going to cover it with cling film and you give it about 45 minutes to 1 hour. The spatula also helps you to make sure the dough comes to the middle by scraping down with the spatula. Okay, so I'll put it right down, right in, and in an hour's time you see it will have come up. Okay, so we're giving it time for the yeast to activate with the flour and then to rise and give air. That is very important when baking. All right, our dough is still proving. Yeah, you can see it's almost filling the bowl. And this one you give time. There's another dough you can do by testing, but this one you give it time. So it must be 45 minutes and we have another 15 minutes to go. But when that is happening, I'm preparing my bread that I'm going to use for the bread. So for a round one and this one. It's all very rare, so it's okay. So you melt some margarine in it and then you grease this way. Why do you do this? Is because now, remember our dough did not have any sort of fat at all. So now we are adding in, we are putting in the fat, but through the bread is going to soak in. It's going to absorb the margarine or the butter from the center of the bowl. So you can use margarine or butter, no oil, or coconut oil is fine. But all those the fats are better. You can also grease with your brush if you want, but I find when you do it this way, as it's cooling down, so it will continue. It will end up coating nicely, and then you need to be generous with the margarine because then it's going to make the bread to really have a nice taste. Oh, this one is doing well, you see. So the butter was a bit runny, so the margarine was a bit runny, so this is not perfect. See, you have to be generous like that. Okay, so you just melt your margarine a little bit, and then this is good. I'm going to put this in the fridge a bit to just let the margarine get a bit colder because the bowl is sort of still a bit warm. So yeah, so now my bowl is better and the margarine is holding on the sides properly, as you can see. Do that. This helps just in evenly distributing, but if you've got a nice brush, I don't like using the silicone brushes because to clean them is just a mess, especially if you have food. So the most important thing is be generous with the margarine. I'm going to remove this one because it's in excess. I'm removing this excess margarine a bit with the spatula. The margarine will come down eventually, but it will give you such a nice crust. You remember me, so be generous with the butter or the margarine. Now, our bread dough is ready. Time is up, and you can see it's got even little perforation holes and it's almost full. Yeah, so we're going to remove this with the spatula with a bit of oil. It helps to remove. Look at this. This is really good. This perforation, you can see when I pull the dough, you can see. So that's what we are going to do, and I'm going to tilt this so that you can really see the story. So you just lift. Can you see you can see the bubbles that are on the sides, or the way the dough is pulling. See, when you do this, see this here, this shows you that it has risen very well. Just do this, makes life easy, and that's it. You don't need to, just put the forks together like that, and this is the stage of knocking down, and that's enough. Then you get your balls, put it together. Then you just divide into two with the spatula like that, and then we are going to put one side. Your dough should be sticky, so don't worry. Then you remove like that and straight to your bowl. You can see that this is really a must-have in the kitchen. And then you've got spatulas that are not easy to clean. This is an easier one to clean. So it helps you to get rid of all this without, you see, I didn't touch the dough with my hands. So I should consider this no wastage, no wastage. How do I spread it on my loaf tin? So this one I just usually pull it apart like that, so that it gets to the corners. Don't be worried about the shape on top or anything. This is just one of those easiest breads to do. Now, amazingly, this time you're not going to cover with anything on top. You just let it go. We are going to leave this like that for 20 minutes and boom, to the oven, and we are good to go. So 20 minutes, we are back, ready for the oven, and what you see how fast it will go. Our dough is ready. It's almost, filling the brim of the bowl of the loaf tin. And then this one, it was a little bit smaller. It's already halfway the bowl. So this is after 18 minutes, and it's ready to go to the oven. So I had already started, when I was greasing the bowl, I heated up, not when I was greasing, when I put the dough inside, I heated up the oven for about 5 minutes. And then what I'm going to do, what I also did is I put the shelf, the little shelf rack, because it's very important. The ovens we have now tend to have either more heat down or on top. So I always like to have in the middle, because then the heat is well distributed. And please note that you must have both the top and the bottom parts of the oven with heat, because the ovens we have these days, you can grill, you can bake from the lower end, or you can have both top and bottom. So look for those two lines that help you know that the oven is heated. So in a few we'll get the bread out. I'm excited. We are going to bake 20 minutes at 180, and then I will use the temperature for another 10 minutes for 150, so that the extra moisture that is in the bread comes out. So let's bake the bread. Now our bread is out of the oven after 20 minutes and 30 minutes, sorry. And then you should make sure that it has a golden brown color on top and on the side. The top will brown fast, so you have to check. It's better when you bake with a clear glass. If the side is brown, then you know it is ready. Yeah? Look how nice it is. Can't wait to cut it. See that brown color, and all the margarine has been absorbed, taken in by the bread. So with me here, I put a chopping board here that will help to empty, so that you can get to see how nice protect the surface of it, because this is still hot. Look at how nice brown it is. And then you're waiting to feel that crunch, yeah. And then I'm going to cut. This bread normally doesn't. This is very important because the outside is still very crunchy. So I'm not going to cut more than that because you need to give it time to cool for it to be nice. But see how airy that bread is. It will not have that soft touch, but it gets very soft after it cools down, and then you can pack. You will not pack the bread when it's at this stage. You have to pack it in a bag or cling film after it has cooled down reasonably, but not completely cold. If you wait for it to be completely cold, it will be dry. But you pack it when it's slightly warm, and then that's okay. This is when you say you need those televisions that are smell-o-visions. So that you can smell the bread. It's so good and nice and crunchy. And then this, you can see the golden color, it comes from the margarine. So with this, you don't even need to put butter if you don't want. It already has enough with it. Thank you very much, and since you've watched the video up to the end, I will reward you with the recipe which you will follow after this. Thanks a lot. Please subscribe. Let me know what you'd like me to cook or other ideas. But I have many ideas coming up, but I would like to also give you what you want to do. So thanks a lot. Bye bye.